The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Sports Collective Media and Morris Media Studios presents Sports Collective TV. On today's lineup, what a weekend it was, an all-star weekend up in Charlotte. But hey, let's not forget everything that happened here. Team LeBron, Team Giannis, as you see Kevin Durant from Kevin Durant, and as well Dirk Nowitzki facing his last NBA All-Star game here, reigning. A long three there with the assist by Blake Griffin, and another one here from former Laker D'Angelo Russell. Here's Dirk Nowitzki for his second one, and to end the first quarter there. But as well, we had a flashback from the best of the best. From Curry to Giannis.
Highlight of the game right there.
That was it, but this is flashback from D-Wade to LeBron.
Throwback.
Wow, oh man. And here comes from the MVP of the game, and Kevin Durant here in the last couple minutes here, shutting it down with a couple threes.
Nasty.
What an amazing game it was. But hey, we got a very, very special guest in the studio today, Mafia Moolah. We'll go ahead and stay tuned with him. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Sports Collective TV starts right about now.
Man,
guess what?
Man.
Props for the intro.
Wait a second. How the hell are you right here? That's crazy.
Switch the room real quick.
We got a really advanced studio here at Morris Media.
Yes, we do.
And,
we just cut him in.
How the F did you do that? Because I want to do that. Man, I
we
wish I could
give
just start
props to our producer Felicia over there for editing that together. Real
there it is.
I see. I see the hat has changed.
Rams got it.
Long ago.
But we're moving on.
I wore this for a reason because I want to mention something later on.
Okay, cool.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I was about to say, like you're already over the Rams like that? Like,
It's been 2.5 weeks.
It rained for like 2 weeks. Can I hack it dirty?
How you been the last 2 weeks?
How has it been? But you know what? It might get a little bit worse for you and Oscar today because I haven't seen you guys since Super Bowl Sunday. I haven't seen you guys, and I've been prepping for this.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys at around 5:40.
Ready for
Stay
it.
tuned. I'm going to go ahead and get these two knuckleheads out here.
There was actually a request for you to fulfill your loss on that bet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm waiting. I'm here. I'm sitting. I'm waiting for my costume to arrive whenever it is.
Next week.
We're putting together a budget, and once we have
that, so make sure you guys get that budget together. But doesn't mean I'm gonna let you guys get away with it.
What does it have to be though? What is it?
I mean,
Rams cheerleading.
I mean, at this point, I don't even want to wear Rams. That's more of an embarrassment, like to wear anything a Rams on. I know I lost the bet, but they lost the Super Bowl.
Get them like a little tank top, a little women's tank top, a little Rams shirt, and then like some pom poms. Maybe call it a day, like a headband or something.
Yeah, that might be kind of
little tutu.
The tank top stuff.
That'll be nice. So I mean, whatever it is,
we'll find something real cute.
If we can find probably a Patriots one, I'm willing to wear that one.
No.
But
so now you guys come down. He's got to be a ransom. That's the punishment.
Yeah. But they lost.
I'm more focused on the cheerleading aspect of it.
All right.
So Luwak, you said you caught this All-Star. I didn't see any of the All-Star.
Yeah. What?
The whole
you sleeping?
I was
sleeping all weekend.
Game was dope. Game at the beginning. I mean, it's an all-star game, so you kind of know like they're not going to play any defense from the very beginning. No one's contesting any shots. Giannis just went on a tear in the first quarter. 16 points, and making everything. That play that you made, that one,
the bounce pass from Curry. Wow.
The ball went
out of the screen though. That's the part.
The ball went out of the screen, and then
the ball came down, and you see Giannis. Boom. It was crazy. That was beautiful.
And he's teasing next year.
He teased a slam dunk contest, and then after that tease, Donovan Mitchell, the former champion from last year, said, "If you're in, I'm in."
And then people were like, "Wait a minute. We might have Zion next year.
Yeah.
We might have Giannis, but Donovan Mitchell. People are asking LeBron to get in it.
I know that's what I was about to say. Can we get LeBron?
I don't think LeBron's
bring them all together. Like
LeBron
2020.
James. I mean, LeBron hasn't done it.
But
that's the thing.
All in all,
he got a back growing already.
All in all, I felt like it was a very entertaining All-Star weekend from start to finish. Really, the 3-point contest was very good. The skills challenge, Jason Tatum winning it with the half-court shot.
That was impressive. That was crazy.
That was pretty cool.
I don't want to mention Jason Tatum. But every time I get so upset every time Jason Tatum gets mentioned because even in this All-Star weekend, right? Like Who was an all-star? D'Angelo. Who did we trade? D'Angelo, because we wanted to draft Lonzo Ball. In that same draft, we had Jason Tatum, who won the skills challenge, and we had D'Angelo, who we traded away because we got Lonzo Ball.
You still upset about that?
I'm still salty about that because it's only because one guy spoke it into existence. Like he said, I'm going to speak into existence.
Hey.
My boy going to be a Laker.
Hey,
and then he just
It's
kept
crazy.
saying it and saying it and saying it, and he spoke it into when none of us wanted it. Like,
No.
But you couldn't have any other better situation than having a homegrown kid from Chino Hills grow up and come in.
You could definitely have it. You could have Tatum. That would be 1,000% better situation.
But at the time, okay, so answer this question. But at the time of the 2017 NBA draft, at the time, did you know that Jason Tatum was going to come out to be what he is? No. Yeah, I mean, he was great.
come on.
You saw that he had potential like all the 5 guys that got drafted, but you didn't see that his game was just going to elevate.
You saw his performance in March Madness.
You did. Lonzo, but all the guys do it all the same. All the guys do it.
All right, let's see.
All the guys do it.
20-second timeout.
Yeah. Back to All-Star
Another
Weekend
one.
real quick, though. The dunk contest was pretty good. I mean, it was a lot of unknown guys.
You know what?
But the dunks itself, I saw a lot of stuff that I didn't see before. So I got to give props to the young guys.
Michael Rappaport on Twitter said one thing. These guys are just they're using too many props.
Yeah,
Like, it's all about the prop now. True. Like, use one prop maybe like on the final round or something, but it should be more about the dunk. You know, like, now it's all about the theatrics. Yeah, Dennis Smith Jr. jumping over J. Cole, but J. Cole was sitting down. So like, I mean,
so I want to ask you. So what's coming up since this halfway point? What are you guys predicting from this point on for your squads?
For the next 25 games,
it's 25
after
games.
the All-Star break is
Only
when
a
you
quarter.
see which teams
It's
really
only a
get
quarter of the
serious.
season left.
Yeah. So what are you predicting?
I don't think the Lakers make it to the playoffs.
Still no?
I don't think they make it into the playoffs.
Why not?
There's 25 games left. I don't think LeBron James plays 25 games.
No,
I don't think I think he chalks this season up as a loss, and he just shuts it down for next season.
Come on.
I mean, I wish that would be the case because I don't want to see them get to the point or having all this drama of trying to make it to the playoffs. Like right now, the whole attention is, are the Lakers going to make the playoffs? Are they going to make it yes or no? No, and I mean, right now, there's no right or wrong answer. You kind of don't know. They're 2 games out of the 8th spot, 25 games, 2 games. I mean, it's not much of a difference. It's just they got to stay healthy. That's the number one point. They all got to be healthy.
But is it all right by it being his first year that they don't make it?
No, it's not all right. Hell no.
Why, Big Al? Why?
Well, first of all, I think potentially they could still make the playoffs. But really, if you look at it, for the Lakers to really make a difference in the playoffs or go anywhere, they got to climb to at least the 7th seed because
the 8th seed is automatic. 8th seed is
they're
automatic.
Probably not beating the Thunder or the Rockets in the first round, so they have to get a really good seed on top of.
Even if they get that 8th seed, if they get that 8th seed right now, Warriors hold down that number 1 spot, but then the Nuggets are right behind them. So the Nuggets and the Warriors are going to be fighting for that number 1 spot. So
back to Fran's question real quick. Why I think that's not okay that LeBron for him to not make the playoffs is because he's been on the East so long. And everybody's been throwing this whole notion in the air about the East being too easy and him having a cakewalk to the finals every year and stuff like that. So a lot of people thought when he came over to the West Coast or to the West, he'd have some trouble getting into the playoffs. And
he's having trouble.
We see first year, he can barely get into the playoffs. So for LeBron's legacy, this is definitely important to some degree and not acceptable for him to not make the playoffs.
Really?
I completely agree. I mean, the last time the Lakers were in the playoffs, let's remember, was Dwight Howard and Kobe.
Yeah.
Right? And Kobe missed the playoffs.
Yep,
do you guys remember watching that? That was terrible watching it as
we got swept by the Spurs.
Swept by the Spurs.
Yeah.
And like as a Laker fan, you're used to a certain level of excellence. So when you go through the rebuilding years and you see the talent that you're accumulating,
this is not a rebuilding.
No. The thing that's frustrating is that it was presented as, oh, look, you have this young core and LeBron's coming. So if it was promising with this young core, your wins are you're going to add 20, 25 wins just by having LeBron. Yeah. And LeBron comes, and then that whole situation where he wants to trade everyone for Anthony Davis.
Come on.
It's like at this point, there's no way I believe the Lakers make the playoffs.
Come on.
Like there's no way that these guys are going to.
That has to deflate the
of course,
young guys.
Of course, and that's all part of like this whole LeBron like thing coming to LA where I didn't want him to come at first because it was like, you know, I didn't want like all the fake LeBron fans coming to the Lakers.
Of course.
And then you kind of
you
get swept because you get swept up in the best player coming in to join your team. Yeah. But then you realize that it's like, man, this guy who everyone thinks, oh my God, this guy is such a team player because he's always No. He tries to be the general on the court, and then he tries to be the GM in the back. And look at what happened in Cleveland. They got one lucky championship in Cleveland. Now they're stuck with all those terrible contracts because he hooks his boys up.
They got Kevin Love still, Tristan Thompson with
J.R.
And Magic and Rob Pelinka are definitely aware of that and don't want the same thing to happen to the Lakers, which is why you saw them not willing to throw out everybody.
They were about to
do it right now. They were definitely
because they were getting desperate at some point.
But I mean, at this point, you had to do that in order to get Anthony Davis.
Would you do that if you was in that position?
If I was in that position,
would you take a chance?
You pull the trigger.
I mean, would you take a chance on ruin the mental state?
If I had the overall power, I wouldn't.
Well, because take what he said. What Ron just mentioned right now is true. It's like if you don't know you're pulling it off, are you going to take that chance of it's going to come out?
Yeah,
they're gonna know who was offered. And
it did. There was like 5 different offers,
and it just kept adding up. It's like it started off with just 3 young guys, and then 4 young guys, and then we'll throw in all 5 young guys.
And it might as well just take everything. I mean, take everything and. It wasn't.
I'm doing business with you.
It wasn't ideal, but I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't happen. So,
but now the damage control, though.
Well, yeah, the damage is there, but at the same time, Magic Johnson said something very good to the guys on Sunday when they were facing in Philadelphia. I mean, it's business. You got to grow up. I mean, you got to play basketball. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're in trade talks, it's because you're either good or they don't want you there. I mean, but at the same time, you're talking about all these guys. They're talented. I mean, they're not scrubs.
But I mean, what we can agree upon, I think, is that the Lakers lost the season at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I guess you can say if they missed the playoffs, you can say it was the biggest. Like it was an awful year. But I honestly don't think they're going to lose. They're going to miss the playoffs. I know they're going to make it. They're going to find a way to make it.
You reach it.
But you said that you thought they'd miss it.
I'd rather take the small whatever small like hair chance of getting the number 1 pick by missing the playoffs.
Ooh. Yeah, because I mean, you still have the chance. You have a small hair, you do. But
versus going in as an 8 or 7 seed and getting swept by the Warriors or the.
But you got another young guy who you're trying to develop in this LeBron, while LeBron's trying to bring all the veterans in.
What?
Like, say if they were to get that first round pick. That's just another young kid.
But they're going to trade that off.
They'll trade it off.
They would trade it.
Yeah, they'll trade it off.
But it's an asset. Look at what Boston did. Right, Boston is accumulated assets, and it didn't really matter about style. It's just like they got assets. Well, you have a point guard, but you still have Rozier. You have all these players, right? And now what they get to do is now they just get to unleash it.
Yeah, because they have so much depth.
They have so much depth, and
they do.
And when if that trade would have gone through, the thing that would have frustrated me, and I know a lot of Laker fans, is like, okay, you have Anthony Davis and LeBron, but who the heck are you going to play with them?
Right?
Because you just gave up all the young talent.
Exactly.
And if Anthony Davis isn't happy in a year or two, then guess what? Maybe he doesn't re-sign. And then Anthony Davis is out. LeBron is stuck in the Lakers with a bunch of scrubs, and all of our young talent is probably making all-star games in the East.
I would have kept the team together and cultivate, let them gel, and give it another year.
It was working. It felt like it was working.
But they're here still. It didn't happen. I know the damage was done already, and they're all like, whatever, but this is the perfect time for all of them to kind of turn it all around and stay healthy.
Has any of them responded to anything on social media? They probably got their contracts.
I mean, a couple of them are kind of like...
Lonzo had the...
Yeah, he was like, well, I'm safe. I'm here. So, everyone's happy, but I know at the end of the day...
Going nowhere.
Yeah.
So, he's going somewhere.
He's going somewhere.
May not be this season.
But honestly,
he wants to play basketball. Honestly.
But I don't think Magic Johnson is that stupid to trade Lonzo Ball after everything he's done to bring the guy here to raise him up to the rafters, and someone like that, he's not gonna turn his back on him.
I thought you say it was business.
Well, I mean, it's business when you got to freaking turn around.
It is business because, especially the Lakers, like. The Lakers, the family, the buses, like they got money, but they don't have money like the owner of the Pelicans, or the owner of all these other teams. Like their main thing is the Lakers. That's what generates them money. Yeah. So that was a legit business decision. Oh, yeah. It's let's get rid of D'Angelo Russell, because we're gonna try and bring this point guard who is from LA and who's gonna sell a lot of jerseys. And we have this dad who's going to hype him up, and before the season even starts, there's going to be all this hype around him, all these jersey sales.
Hey, Lua, we got to have a rule. You cannot mention D'Angelo Russell's name here because it hurts.
I know
it hurts to know that. He was our first. I don't want to say he was like our first little kid, but he was our first diamond that we got. First diamond.
Kobe for crying out loud.
That was
played
our
with
first
Kobe.
diamond.
He played with Kobe. This kid had Kobe's stamp.
Yeah, but the thing about it too, I mean, this is his 4th year. That's where he finally exploded into that type of player. Brandon Ingram's in his 3rd year, which next year would be his 4th year, just a year that D'Angelo Russell kind of exploded himself into being an all-star this year. I hate that D'Angelo Russell is out, but it is what it is. But please don't say that again. Okay.
I mean, I will say this
D'Lo,
with
I got
D'Angelo
you,
Russell,
D'Lo.
though. It definitely helped him to play on a team like Brooklyn, where he really just had the green light to kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he got the keys to
he
got the keys to the car there to take it away. But
And it's and the Lakers kind of hooked him up too. Like they didn't trade him to a small market
Yeah,
team.
they
shipped him
sent
to
him to Brooklyn.
He's in Brooklyn. He's in Brooklyn.
He
Dope
can
ass
sell some jerseys there.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
looking
yeah.
good with the
So
Biggie
who's-
sweater
yeah,
thing
yeah,
around it and
that's
everything.
what
I
Who's
love
coming
it.
out of the West for the finals, y'all think?
Out of the West? Oh, Golden
The
State.
Warriors.
No doubt.
The Warriors.
Without a question.
It's the Warriors.
Rockets can't do
Put
it?
all my money on
Maybe Oklahoma City will take them like 6 games in the final in the Western Conference Finals. You know, but
I mean, you get 3
bearing
teams.
any
I think there's
injury,
only
I
3
feel like
teams
they
that might have a chance.
I hate saying it because you guys have him on your fantasy squad, but Boogie Cousins still isn't even fully back
Oh,
onto
yeah,
the, you know.
yeah,
so like
yeah.
it's like
Boogie.
okay, Oklahoma City has this new Paul George that like he was there last year,
This
but
has been fine.
he's better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well he's this much better. The Warriors got this
That
much
much,
better
yeah.
because they had Looney and now they have Cousins. So whatever the OKC made up by Paul George playing at this MVP caliber level,
It's not enough.
it's not enough because they went out and got
wouldn't
Boogie
have
Cousins.
Boogie Cousins, it would probably not be enough.
I mean, it's still going to be crazy.
I think it's just going to be. It's
I
just
think they're
an
too
insane amount of like talent that's been
Bearing any
But-
major injuries.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
or
barring
something
any
like
major
that,
injuries. Yeah.
But it's just crazy how you guys, before we go, it's just crazy how you guys don't believe that the Lakers at least have a chance with LeBron
At what?
James.
At what?
These
The
are real,
playoffs?
these are real Laker fans.
At being
No, man, I
dangerous.
mean,
Real Laker
yo,
fans.
look,
gotta
did
be
you
I
real.
can be
Hold on,
logical about something
hold on,
and
hold on.
still
I'm
like
not
it.
yeah.
sipping the juice that
Yeah.
LeBron is over here feeding
All right,
everybody.
60 more seconds. Come
60
on.
more seconds, but I just want to say this real quick. I mean, I love this guy. I'm not sure if you guys
Oscar's
know
like having
who
a fit.
Jason McIntyre is from Fox Sports. This guy came out and said something very, very interesting.
What did he say? Let's get to it.
Hey, I want to picture it out.
Fluffy stuff.
But he said, I mean, and I agree with him. There's nobody else that you want to face in the playoffs. It has to be anybody else but LeBron, because LeBron at his pace in the playoffs, when he has to turn it up, he's a whole different animal. And I want to
Not
see
this
his
season.
reaction.
Look,
I
you
want to see his
You had
reaction.
us wait for that quote?
No, but I want to
that
tell me you're not scared of facing LeBron in the playoffs.
No, because
I mean,
LeBron
no.
is who's LeBron playing with this year?
He took- look
With
at
a
the
bunch of
kids.
with a bunch of kids.
But look
who
at
we
the
wanted-
guys he had
with a
before.
bunch
He
of
still
kids.
made it to
The
8
Lakers
straight
should
finals.
surprise
He never
somebody
ate
in
it.
the
He never
first
ate
or
it.
second round.
Take this
But
break.
yeah,
This
no.
guy's gone to
I
8
guess
straight.
in the
Yes,
East. In the
indeed.
East.
In the East, but with worse
When the
teams.
East is in the house, oh my God,
Man.
danger.
Wow.
Danger.
Wow.
Sports Collective TV, we'll be right back. Social media, Sports
These
Collective
guys don't
TV.
believe. Friday, March 8th, the event of the spring. Old School Spring Jam Concert. Live from Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Performances by Ready for the World. Tone Low.
Tone low. MC of the future. Say about the line. Give it to you, the teacher. The author, the writer, and the editor.
Coolio. Michelle A. And Candyman.
Attention, all ladies. The Candyman is on the prowl. And for those that want to get busy, you got to speak up now.
For tickets and information, visit us at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out. Old School Spring Jam Concert, March 8th.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Sports Collective TV here at Leimert Park, Crenshaw District, live from Morris Media Studios. It's my pleasure to introduce local talent, born and raised here in LA, Mafia Moolah. Tell us about yourself, sir.
Well, as you mentioned previously, I'm born and raised right here in Los Angeles, California. This is, home to many artists like myself. And I just want to share my story about, where I come from and pretty much the story I have to tell about my life and trials and tribulations I done came through and how I done came from a negative part of my life to a positive part.
So who was Moolah growing up?
Well, Moolah growing up was a normal kid like everybody else.
Growing up in the hood.
What's normal?
What's normal?
Yeah, give us your normal. What was your normal?
Common normal things what you doing?
Throwing rocks in cars.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, yeah, you feel me? Like riding big wheels and not too much unnormal stuff. You
played sports in the neighborhood?
I did.
Sideline
I played sideline pop. Yeah, I was going to say that. It wasn't much of a sideline. It was more the cars.
The car, exactly.
That
was more dangerous.
Yeah, that was very much more dangerous. And then, you feel me, the oncoming traffic or whatever, you got to watch out.
Nice.
Typical stuff, days at the beach, you feel me?
Yeah.
Church, I actually grew up in church. I was in the choir and stuff.
No kidding.
Yeah. First AME church. It was actually in the church that was in Three Strikes. Yeah, with Pastor Cecil Chip Murray.
All right.
Also, music's in your blood from a very young age.
I would have to say so, yeah.
Yeah, nice. So. And it's funny how you shift from being in the choir to now being Mafia Moolah. That's a huge shift. That's a huge shift.
What? Because
life, right?
Thing, and the choir thing was like more forced.
Okay.
So, this was more something I got to do free-spirited at my own pace and from within in my own will.
I can it's relate a first to touch with music, and then you evolve into your own thing.
I can relate to you because I was in the choir and all that stuff as a kid at church. So I think as a black community, I think that's where you start out.
Yeah,
I mean, my grandparents, you go to church.
Yeah,
next thing you know, you're singing in the choir.
It's not a choice.
Yeah, it's not a choice. So you get involved at some point.
Yeah.
And if it's music, it's music.
And like you said, connects you to the community. Like you start getting to know other people, right? Mm-hmm. But how else are you connected with the community?
Well,
growing up.
Growing up, I was in I would say like a lot of the local schools around in the area too, like Hyde Park Elementary, Horace Mann Middle School, and I went to Crenshaw High.
And you know what's funny? That's the exact same path that my brother took. My little brother, he went to Hyde Park, Horace Mann, and he went to Crenshaw. Man,
see, it was actually more schools than that, but those are the more like schools that stuck. And
why you have so many other schools, man? What was going on, man?
Well, that then goes back to the normal kids stuff. Uh-huh. What the normal kids was doing was getting kicked out of school.
Ah, okay.
And I was one of the bad kids, I guess, as my mama used to say. And he bad, so.
Looking back on that now as an adult, what do you think? What do you take away from that as an adult now?
I think I was just being a child.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I always noticed that stuck out to me was when people say children are curious, and that's really just what it be. Mm-hmm. It's not that they being bad; they wanting to find out what stuff.
They're figuring stuff out. Yeah,
figuring out life,
you're maturing and
you're figuring out life.
Although a parent may say no, don't do this. Because the parent knows what the consequence is.
Right.
So they tell the child, so the child won't be curious, but it's like, why?
Yeah. You're so curious.
Okay, I hear you saying don't.
It's that question, why?
Yeah, but why don't? Like, why not? Like, if you tell me why not, then do I believe why not now? Like, it's still that curiosity. Right. So then it's
a lot of that went on.
They got to find out. Yeah, so I had to find out for sure. Like now, still to this day, I don't believe stuff. You got to show me the proof that's in the pudding, and then is this Jell-O pudding? Like now, you feel me? So like, or is this what kind of pudding is this? I found out the pudding now.
That's interesting you ask because what I'm into now is where people's ideologies and philosophies and theologies come
beliefs,
from. Your belief system. So like you say, you tell me something, you filtering it through some belief system. Where did all that come from? Where did you build that from?
I don't know really.
Life experience. I'm sure you got some church in there, so I know you got some spirituality in there.
I would definitely have to say life experiences because there's no greater teacher than life.
Yeah,
and I pay attention to the life lessons instead of letting the life lessons continue and be mistakes.
Yeah.
So,
and so we always talk about, yes, a lot of kids in our community, like you said, are curious, trying to figure stuff out. Were there people in your life that kind of like help you figure that out, or put you on a right path? Because a lot of these kids growing up, like you said, they're just floating, trying to grab onto something. So who are those people in your life growing up, like that were just like helping you, guiding you? Even though you were curious and trying to figure stuff out.
He got a whole list. Look at him.
He's thinking about it.
He got a whole list. Like, who do I say?
Yeah, for me, it was several people. It was music. Some of the influences came from music. Several artists. And it would have to have been like my brother.
Okay.
My brother, yeah. He's been one of the biggest.
Older or younger?
Well, he's really my play brother, so we about the same age, couple months off.
Okay,
but I'll see him as my brother.
What gave him that identity for you? Like his character?
His character, helping me stay strong, helping me realize, a lot of stuff at a young age, and just helping keep that knot tight, that family bond.
Yeah.
And, his family accepted me, my family accepted him. We always had each other back.
Yeah.
It was like, we was just like something that just meshed. Like, it was meant to be.
That's hard to find these days, huh?
It is. And, it was something like, because I'm the youngest in my family, so I always wanted a younger brother. Or at least a brother my age, like a twin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to have one, but I was blessed to have one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
and that's the family, like you said, you chose.
Yeah,
there's the families that we were born into, and then there are ones we choose in life.
Yeah.
Right?
That's cool. And it's about what he did as a person. Like, again, you said his character. So.
Yeah. Cool deal.
Yeah, man. So, I just wanted to ask a little bit about the music, man. So tell us about getting into music, hip hop, right? Like, when did you get to that, and why hip hop? What kind of led you to that?
Well, again, it started off with me and my brother. We was at my uncle's house. And my uncle is in the industry. He's been in the industry back with DJ Yella was with NWA.
Oh, okay.
And he was more like a DJ Yella's apprentice.
Right. So you got some of that golden age influence growing up.
It's just music. It's just
roots. Right.
Like,
That's dope.
So, Uncle was like, I think, y'all should do something. Like, and it was just like, not necessarily those words, but he was like, I think y'all should make something happen. And we like, what you mean make what happen? Like, he like, y'all need to do something. Y'all sit around here just smoking all this weed. And, like, y'all smoke like y'all rappers or something. Like,
we also write some bars.
I'm like, well, what? Like, do we look like rappers? Like, do we strike you with that image? Like, and, we kept talking about it for so many days, maybe like a month or so, and ideas just kept floating around, and eventually he was like, no, you need to rap. Here, check this out. I got this beat program.
Whoa.
And,
there you go.
All you got to do is just take it seriously. Just take some time, focus on it, and just see what you come up with.
Nice.
And it's funny because you go back to being a kid where you're being curious and trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But now it's like in a way where you're trying to be productive. You're not throwing rocks, this and that. Now you're trying to figure out a system.
It's something I could actually build, like a positive something for the future.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right. Well, this weekend you just came from an event, right?
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
The event I just had was it was just a great regular showcase show that I was headlining. And it was real good. It was downtown at a new place called The Arc downtown.
Okay.
Right off of Main Street and close by Pico.
Okay.
And it was a real good event. There was I wouldn't say a sold out crowd, but it was a very packed capacity. Everybody seemed to had a good time. The audience responded well.
Right.
They seemed to be vibing out to my music. The footage I have, there's people
I saw
actually
some clips of that.
vibing really good to my music and stuff like that.
So you talked about that moment with your uncle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're talking about this event. So was it a struggle? How was the process leading up to this weekend? Because a lot of times there's a lot of artists out there that have expectations. Things are going to run smooth, right? So how's it been? Because like you said, you came new venue, right? Almost packed crowd. Like, was it always like that, or was it a build up to that?
Well, it's definitely been a build up to that because the very first show I did in 2016. It was, I'd say, like maybe about 7 people in there. And the reaction I got was great because it was more like the people was far back, like way back there. And then as I'm going and stuff, you know, I'm in my mode and I'm feeling good and I'm doing what I do. The people start just drawing in. And it's like they're walking in and they're walking in slow. So it's like they're kind of like zombie fog.
You learn them in.
Slowly pulling people in,
Like, wait, like, why are they? And I'm just, you know, still rapping and carrying on. And then they like, here I come. Like I hear what you're saying. Like,
let me get closer.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, okay. So for that to strike them and like my presence to strike them, it struck me in a way that was like wow, like I should continue doing this. Like,
let me ask you, in that moment of time where you saw that it was like 7 people, who did you have to be to continue to keep your flow, man? Because I'm sure in your subconscious was talking to you like, man, this is whack. Like, I know you're doing your lyrics, but what was your subconscious telling you, man?
Mental toughness, right?
Yeah. What was your subconscious?
It takes a
man?
lot
it was definitely, I want to leave. Definitely wanted to leave.
You.
But I could not leave. I had to continue going, and here I am now. It was the belief that you know, there's always going to be hardships and struggles, and what you got to know is that's only the beginning. Yeah.
So, my thing with hip hop shows or rap concerts, usually the MC has to be on his thing, whether the crowd is jumping or not feeling it at all. That's how you win the crowd over as an MC. Really, you got to be on your thing, whether it's 5 or 5,000 people there or whatever.
Definitely.
So if you have that quality, then that's a major like advantage throughout a musician's career.
And see, a thing about it is, I feel like to my awareness and my knowledge, I have great stage presence. And so that is one thing that comes with, you know, crowd engagement. And, you know, that's where you get the crowd to participate and to really, you know, eye contact and, you know, whatever gesture that you may do that's relating to the lyric that you're about to say is what also gets the crowd to, you know...
Yeah, give them like a visual...
Do jumping jacks!
Well. Right.
Yeah. Put your hands in the air!
Right, because if you're going to see a show, you want to experience something, you want to feel something more than what you could feel watching it on YouTube or, you know, just a video.
The energy.
Right, you want to feel that
energy. Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's, like you said, that's why you pay, right, some of these artists, you're paying so much, is because they make you feel something. You go there and you're like, I didn't get nothing out of this. You're like...
Yeah,
but
I've definitely been to several shows where it's like, the artist is like, more just into themselves, and it's like, okay, we know you're the artist, you are on stage, the show is about you,
right?
But at the same time, you want the audience to feel, you want them to feel a part of it, like they're just not a fan, they just paid you, like they want to feel a part of you in some type of way, some type of connection and bond.
First things first, you're an entertainer, right?
So and that's the key part.
Have a connection with your audience, so.
And then also, like, once I feel like sometimes artists, once they get to certain levels, they just kind of like expect that reaction from the crowd just by their presence. And it's like you can't sell out your crowd like that. They've been following you for so long. They go there, like you said, someone might have saved up weeks and weeks to get that video. Like, they want the full experience. And that's as an entertainer, you have to realize that people are giving up a lot to be here. And I know I've heard shows where sometimes they expect 3-hour shows and then people come out for an hour or they're late. You know, it's like, man, that's that crowd interaction. Like as a fan, you're like, you kind of feel cheated. But let's also talk about your recent single you just uploaded on iTunes. What can you tell us about it?
About that.
Well, the recent single, it's called Like Nip Said, and pretty much it touches bases where I feel as though Nipsey has, you know, set a guideline and a standard for how an independent artist should have their career and platform, and I feel like I'm pretty much right on path and right on target with my platform and how I'm building my own independence as an artist.
Okay.
So he's laying down the path for these new artists coming up.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And him being successful proves to people that this is something that works. Right. And like you said, it took time because people felt that Nipsey kind of got away, and he didn't get away. He was just kind of like low key building himself up. It's like that seed you plant, and because it hasn't sprouted yet, people are like, well, where did it go? Right. He was just rooting himself. And now that you said he came out with that first studio album, like you said, he's breaking records. You know, he's doing things in the hip hop world.
Getting nominated,
right? And now people, like you said, now people use him as an example, right? And like you said, and as they should, because he's showing people you don't have to go the traditional way where you sign like this big contract. Because at the end of the day, he promotes its ownership.
Right.
It's like, is that your music or is that their music that you're making?
Right.
Because when you're far gone, who's making money off your music?
Exactly.
And we need people like that to change the rap industry from where it's labels having complete control over artists and what they release to have where the artist actually has control.
Are we going to play that before we go on the break or what?
Yes, we should. Let's play that.
Is it queued up? Can we drop that on the
outro?
outro?
Queued up?
Yeah, of course,
you
man.
thought this was.
Yeah. Come on, man. We got you.
I didn't know that.
Oh, man.
There it is.
Ooh, let's go.
Like if I went got my own shit, haters gon' knock that. Signing my own label, warm up like a top hat.
Yeah.
Handle my business and y'all know nothing about that. Rob niggas in daylight with a 38 strap.
Bang, bang.
Get dough every day. I was hungry and thirsty.
Yeah.
Sometimes I be posted, getting it by my lonely. But me and the homies stay wildin', lit is fucking turned up. We stomp niggas in the middle of the party, fucking with us. King Moolah, I'm living in hella blessed. My time coming one day, so I'm getting prepared. Every day I'm on a mission, making moves to get millions. Business intentions and no feelings how I'm living. You dig it? Yeah. Real South nigga, never run my mouth nigga. Why fuck with y'all? You probably wanna point me out to niggas. Your kind is treacherous, my kind is positive. Believe in myself, elevating through my process. Out serving fiends late night, it's money to get. Hella legal money now, I'm selling shows and music. Climb my way up to the top, I think no one can stop me. Bars I'm spitting hella hot, haters sit back and watch me. I'm grinding like rats eat cheese. It's like Nip said, simple and plain. From reputation in the streets, sit on your plane. What you did for your fame, what you take for your chain. Mean streets, man.
Friday, March 8th, the event of the spring. Old School Spring Jam Concert. Live from Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Performances by Ready for the World.
Let me love you down. Let me take all night. Let me love you down.
Tone Low.
Tone Low. MC of the future. Say about the life. Guaranteed procedure. The author, the writer, and the editor.
Coolio. Miss Shelley. And Candyman.
Attention all ladies. The Candyman is on the prowl. And for those that want to get busy, you got to speak up now.
For tickets and information, visit us at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out. Old School Spring Jam Concert, March 8th.
All right, welcome back to Sports Selective TV. I'm your host and moderator, Farhan, aka WDC. You want to follow me, go to at the Farhan Doja Show. You can follow all my social media over there. We switched it up for you. So I got Moolah, man. You ready, man?
Yes, sir.
I got a few questions for you, man. So we talked about your past growing up as a child, man.
Yes.
Give me that song in your childhood that when you hear it on the radio, it takes you back to that little guy. Give me that song, man.
The song that takes me back to that little guy.
Yeah, what's that song?
Would have to
man?
be The Temptations.
Huh?
The Temptations.
The Temptations?
Yes.
What song? What
My
any
Girl.
of them? My Girl?
My Girl,
What does that
yes.
remind you? What does My Girl remind you of?
It reminds me of, because we didn't have the movie, the actual VHS. We had a recorded bootleg.
Okay.
But what it reminds me of is being at home watching that.
Yeah.
And just being able to enjoy life as a child, and like I just remember I was I was just like one of the most happiest kids,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that song was like, it gave me joy outside of the movie too, like, you know, my girl.
Of course, I
singing
know that
it.
track. I know that track. That's one of mine. That's one of
mine. It
mine.
felt good to like sing that harmony. You feel me? Just to
Okay,
flow.
give me one of your songs as a teenager. What stands out for you as a teen?
One of my songs as a teenager. It would have to be Lil Wayne's Brand New.
Oh,
Yeah, because that song when it first came out, it was his bars, his delivery. It was just the beat, like everything was just on point, and like how he say, you feel me, riding around the city with some brand new heat. Like, you feel me, you think like
you can relate to that. You can relate to that.
Like, okay,
that he
like,
could be anything though.
Yeah, the heat is several things, honestly. So you know.
Okay.
And
did you like him when he was with the Hot Boys?
I was a little young back then.
Oh, you was too young back then? I'm sorry. I'm 48.
Oh, yeah, I was a little young back then.
That's my era. Okay, what about today? What's your hit today you listen to, besides your own music?
My hit today? That's kind of a tough one.
Just what first one to come to mind? It's not a pop quiz. Just the first song to come to mind. What do you think it is?
It's gonna be Joe Moses for the Bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is that? What is that about?
I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Like, it's for the bitches. I mean, you know, it's
to the
about
point.
being fly. It's about, you know, having a good time, having money, enjoying life, enjoying the scenery, reaping the fruits of your labor, and you know.
Okay, I'm with you.
Turning up, living life.
So we're gonna get a little bit more specific now. So, how would you summarize your mission?
My mission,
yeah,
as an artist,
yeah.
My mission as an artist is to hopefully guide and mentor some of those people and the youth that don't have it, because one of the biggest mentors in my life was music.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I could give back in a way by being, you know, a musical mentor, because for one, I have the talent. For two, it's something that I've been seeing myself doing really since I was 14, and I feel like I have a lot to offer in this music, not just telling my story. Like, I could also help others further themselves.
Okay.
Like, you know, I've done that several times.
Okay, so my question is, who are you being to make this world the kind of place you wanted to live in? Like, what kind of person are you being? Compassionate, like, what are those kind of ways of being?
I'm being the best me I can be, honestly, as a whole. And, you know, that's helping others, you know, caring about others, giving advice, whatever I can. That's selfless. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And
cause it takes a lot of courage, man, to get in front of a crowd and rock a mic. So I know you're courageous.
Yeah, most definitely.
So what?
Yeah, like, it's just all about the selflessness of it. And what I tell people is, like, you know, coming out to my shows, like, for coming out to my shows, I'm gonna buy a VIP section.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that, or, you know, people that's helping me out with, like, streams and stuff like that, you know, those people will get certain perks, you know, on certain shows, like,
right.
you know, backstage VIP, free tickets.
Okay.
So, you know, therefore it becomes more of a equal thing. It's not just me receiving and not giving.
Right.
So, you know, it'll be a fair treatment.
Okay.
And that's just with the music. But outside of the music, it's more of like I like to help and take care of my people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do what I can do when I can do it.
Right.
And,
okay.
You know.
So, what is your music platform? What is it missing right now? Like, what piece are you missing, if anything?
Piece I'm missing is a quality studio.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Okay.
My most recent project that I just finished and am now working on putting out, it was honestly recorded for the first time in a studio quality studio, and that's the song I have now that is about to be put out featuring Joe Moses.
Okay.
And it's called On for the Night, and it's a very unique project, for one, because it was an actual studio. We recorded it. I had the chance to step foot in the Atlantic Records studio.
Okay.
And that was big for me, just that alone. Meeting with an A&R from Atlantic Records. Like, who knows the possibilities that could have happened. There wasn't many, but
you was there though.
Yeah,
80% of success is showing up.
Most definitely.
You just got to show up.
Like today, you know. who knows what would have happened.
Exactly.
So,
okay. So my next question, I got a couple more for you. So why is having your record presence important on social media? Like, why is that important to you?
Well, it's important for one. It matters that if people hear it, for one, because the song, no matter how great it is, it's not a great song if no one hears it. And the messages, the messages that I have in my music, I don't necessarily, promote the gang violence, but what I tell people is that in the message, that if they also take it consciously like that, the path that one person may decide to take is fine, whatever path, whether right or wrong. But hopefully, if that's not the path that you want to be in, there's multiple ways that you can be successful in life.
And would that be your overall message to a young guy like you was back in the day with a machine that your uncle gave you? What would you tell that kid?
It would
that young
be
guy?
Because that young guy still had went through the hard route in life, and it wasn't necessarily an option. It wasn't a choice. It was just life and how life came.
Yeah.
And now, looking at it, I could definitely tell myself, it's other ways out here. It's like you hear it too growing up, but it's like, do you really pay attention? Because like, is the visual there?
Right.
Like, do you have a relative or somebody that's successful in those other routes?
Right.
Is then that becomes the thing. People tend to not have that.
Exactly.
So they don't get that visual.
All right. So I can relate to you as you mentioned, being in front of like 7 people and keeping your mindset going. I advocate for sickle cell trait, sickle cell disease. So there's been a couple of times I've been out and nobody's came to my booth, and it's like, man, why am I set up here? You're there for 4 or 5 hours, and then that one time somebody comes up to your area and be like, oh, you know what? I needed to hear this today. And it's like, man, if you just touch one person, that's success, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
So when I say sickle cell trait, are you aware? What do you know about that?
I'm a little bit aware of it, not necessarily like too much of it, but
what do you know? Just no wrong answer.
I don't want to exactly say. Like, I know I'm hearing it several times.
Like a red blood cell condition, pain, crisis, things like that.
Overall, yeah, but not too in depth.
Okay, cool. So I got a couple more questions for you. So we talked about mental toughness, right? So what is your view on mental health?
Well, my view on mental health would have to be, that's crazy.
No wrong answer. No wrong answer.
My view on mental health is that, we need to help those people as much as possible, because one of my good peoples is, dealing with some stuff that we haven't even been able to necessarily figure out yet. And it's like, it just started to take on a more heavier toll in his life.
Right.
But we still try to, give him all the love and support that we can. Myself, I actually, seen him earlier today.
Cool.
But
yeah.
that's it doesn't take away from me wanting to help him, or, it actually encourages me to help him more. And it's like, I feel like those people need more of a helping hand than, regular sane people, or however you want to call it.
Right.
I feel like those people need just as much attention as like handicapped or, disabled people, because those people are of some use as well in the world and can be productive too.
Right. So how do you handle your mental health? I mean, after all the studio rapping, do you go to the beach? Like, where do you go and get your peace of mind?
My peace of mind comes from a good blunt. Honestly, I just smoke a good wood and take some alone, quiet time to myself.
Cool deal.
And sort stuff out. I talk to myself, but I don't answer myself. And I sort stuff out. Honestly. And typically, like I'm not a psychic person, but I tend to usually be right about situations that I come with these outcomes and conclusions to. And so then I'd be like, damn, I'm really not crazy.
Right.
Because I knew this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'd be like, it's not about what you know, it's about what you can prove.
Yeah.
And can you prove it, then you end up made to be look crazy since you can't prove it.
Right. All right. And lastly, as you mentioned, disabled. I'm a disabled veteran, so I have a lot of military personnel that I advocate for. What's your thoughts on military personnel and veterans? What comes to mind when you think about a veteran?
Well, for one, those people are all brave, yourself most definitely included, because to put yourself in that position like that, for one, I applaud you. All the respect.
Yeah, thank you.
Undoubtedly. And I don't see why not put those people first. Along up there, with the mental disabled, I don't see why not. It's it's something that we as a people owe those people, because somewhere along the lines, the veterans, they gave back, the mental disabled, they help contribute to the world. The handicap, they help contribute to the world.
Yeah.
The body parts that they might not be able to use can help go to research or things like that. Right. Whatever the case is, those people are always valuable. And at the end of the day, they're people, they have feelings, who are the regular people, as they want to be called, to say that those people don't matter. So I feel like everybody matters.
Cool deal. Thank you for that, man. Matters. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Where can they find you at on social media, man? Give them the info.
My name on Instagram is Mafia Moolah. Mafia spelled regular, Moolah, Moolah, 81st, ST. And just Google me, Mafia Moolah, Moolah. Everything will pop right up. Yes.
All right, cool deal, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Sports
you.
Label TV, we'll be right back with the rest of the cast. Shout us out. What's the count?
Friday, March 8th, the event of the spring. Old School Spring Jam Concert. Live from Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Performances by Ready for the World.
Let me love you down. And if it takes all night, let me love you down.
Tone Low.
Tone Low. MC of the future, say about life, give it to the suture, the author, the writer, and the editor.
Coolio. Michelle A. And Candyman.
Attention, all ladies. The Candyman is on the prowl. And for those that want to get busy, you got to speak up now.
For tickets and information, visit us at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out. Old School Spring Jam Concert, March 8th.
Welcome back to Sports Collective TV. We got a little bit, about 5 minutes left before we close out the show. I want to ask one more hip-hop question to Mafia Moolah before we get into some sports, man. You said your uncle was working with DJ LS, so you have that influence of the real golden age hip-hop kind of, or what I would consider golden age hip-hop. Now in 2019, hip-hop looks a lot different. Different styles coming out. Rap in general. I wouldn't even call it hip-hop anymore. Yeah, it's rap.
Like pop rap.
The lean, the face tattoos, the skinny jeans. There's a lot happening, man. I just want to get your opinion on all this stuff that's going on in hip hop right now.
I got on sweats, yo.
What's your take?
My take on this, today's generation on music is
it's a head scratcher,
it's
no doubt. Right?
Like most definitely, it's definitely evolved, and I'm more of like an old school rapper, so I can't.
I heard that. Yeah,
I typically can't, speak for the new generation. But what I do, one thing I have to say is I do like the level that it's evolving to, because it gives other people different aspects to come from and do their music. Mm-hmm.
Creativity, right?
Exactly. There's rap, pop. There's like rap, reggae. Like there's all types of different genres
diverse.
That people. Yeah. I've even heard of. Country hip hop or country rap, I'm not sure. But
Nelly tried to pull that off a while
back. It didn't work because I wasn't the age.
Yeah, it was too soon.
So now it's pulled off.
Like Soulja Boy came too soon too, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
But see, one thing he did though, which he did say, we got to give credit where it's due.
What?
He broke the internet.
Yeah, I cranked that first video on YouTube to get.
And the way he did it too is like everyone was downloading music back then, and he named his 50 Cent in the club and then dash Soulja Boy. You know, so if you're looking for 50 Cent in the club, you download 50 Cent in the club, and then as soon as you pop it, you're like, wait, what is this? And then, I mean, it's like,
that's how he pulled that off.
Yeah, even if 80 people deleted it instantly, there's 20 people who wouldn't have found you who now know who you are, and then that music.
Marketing genius. Whether you like his music, he was definitely a genius
for his time
to using the technology that was around at the time.
For that creative time, it was Soulja Boy.
The video game consoles are something else. So that's
so we got some baseball news from Fredo.
Not much of a news, but I mean, I don't want to interrupt the conversation. I want to ask before we move on to baseball. I want to ask you a question. Just every time I talk to any artist, I always like to ask them about the vision, because everyone has a vision of where they want, what they want to do, where they want to be in 10 years from now. I don't want to ask your age. I don't want to put your age out there, but in 10 years from now, where do you want to be? Like, what would you consider a success? I mean, a success to you.
In 10 years from now, a success to me would be living comfortably, and maybe one or two children at that time. I don't have any children at this moment. I would like to be in a position where I could start buying assets and start, having some solid foundations for those children that I would like to have.
Nice.
That's a nice way to go about it.
So it's about the family. It's about, like you said, sustainability.
Most definitely.
Nice.
All right, Fredo, what you got for the major league?
What's your scoop?
Baseball.
Well, not much of a scoop, but I mean, this is what's going on out there. I mean, we talk about the two. I've never seen something where there's two top players that are still free agents a day before spring training starts.
Ooh.
Before the season starts, I mean, the season starts tomorrow. You've never seen two other players be free agents. Like, imagine you see LeBron and Kevin Durant be free agents. Like that'll be crazy. And it's still going on right now with Manny Machado, a former Dodger, now still free agent, and Bryce Harper. I mean, there's two guys that are free agents.
Wasn't that a conversation a while back?
No. What the conversation a while back was, I told Fredo was before it had almost happened like a day after I said it. They're gonna get rid of Yasiel Puig, which they did already. They did already. They got rid of Yasiel Puig to try and get Bryce Harper.
Right.
And it hasn't happened.
I remember that conversation.
And so now where's Yasiel Puig? Like, their team has gotten worse.
We're not talking about the Dodgers. I'm talking about the two players.
Oh, you know I had to bring it up.
Of course, the Dodgers were going to be a part of this.
Let's be real. The Dodgers were supposed to be buyers in this market, and when they traded away Puig to open up that outfield spot, right? Who are the Dodgers thinking they're going to get?
But look, if you look at our outfield situation, we're crowded right now. We just took away Pollock. I mean, the thing is, they're still free agents. Nobody has gotten a hold of them.
That's cool.
So they're free agents right now. I mean, any given day, they say there's about 10 teams in mystery teams. They're still chasing them. It's still a possibility out there. I mean,
how are the Padres going to end up with one of them?
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
Padres.
It's crazy to see that these two guys are still open. I mean,
why haven't you guys picked them up yet?
It's not on us. I mean, it's on him and his agent. They're looking for the right money. Nobody in the 30 teams that baseball has, nobody wants to pay these guys over $300 million, which is what they're asking for. Nobody wants to do that.
Baseball is guaranteed money. And baseball's guaranteed. Like, even if you are terrible, you sign that contract. That contract, you write it out like for 10 years.
And I mean, that's what Albert Pujols took advantage of the Angels back in 2010. Took advantage, got that ridiculous money that he's still getting paid today.
$25 million a year.
I mean, that's just crazy.
For 4 years? For 10 years. He got 10 years.
I mean, you're talking. That's awful, and that's what they're trying to get these players to do. And I mean. Sad to say that these guys are still jobless.
So baseball makes the most money?
Guaranteed.
They get guaranteed.
NBA is
basketball's also
pretty good
guaranteed, money. But
NBA is the most lucrative sport because you can, on top of the money, you can also get
market yourself.
Baseball players don't sell shoes. They're not. People aren't buying shoes because the baseball players
are not buying their
baseball players aren't. You gotta be
don't have the Nike endorsements.
You gotta have that
basketball
thing about
do
you to be a baseball player that people are like, okay, this guy's marketable. basketball players are the easily most marketable
Left
because
and right.
it's the
Yeah, the
sexiest
sneakers.
sport. Like, let's be real, it's the sexiest sport to watch. If you're watching, it's the easiest on the eyes because it's really fast. You have the athleticism, you have the dunking, you
Not a
have
lot
the
of players.
three-point, you have all these different things that come in, and then you have the player. You have rappers who rap. They don't rap about baseball players. They rap about basketball players. Basketball players want to be rappers. Rappers want to be basketball
The term
players.
baller. The term
So,
baller.
like,
is
it's
Comes from
intertwined.
basketball.
It's intertwined. So but baseball players easily probably like if I had a kid, I would try and get them to try and go to baseball because it's like you're
It's
playing.
probably the easiest when you
It's
get a
180 games, yes, but your
the
work
easiest
day
on your
starts
body.
at 12 because that's when you go in for batting practice, you know, and the game is at 5 or 6. You know, by 9 you're out, and you're like you're standing around most. Let's be real. You're standing around and you're waiting for the ball to come to hit it. You know.
Let's acknowledge our guests, y'all. We got to get out of here.
Yes, thank you. Anything else you want to tell the people, Moolah?
I just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank y'all for having me. For those of y'all that want to tap in with the music, go right ahead. I'd appreciate that. And stay tuned for these big projects I got coming up.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Well, there you have it. Straight from Kennesaw, Los Angeles, Morris Media Studios. Another great episode of Sports Collective TV. We're out.